Manny.
All right, yes, sir.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate you
My pleasure.
coming in to do the podcast.
Definitely.
So you're a DJ. You've been
Yes.
DJing around Alhambra. You've been hitting the streets for 15
Yeah.
years. And we were just talking about it that I've been partying for a long time. So never met you officially.
Yeah.
So it's finally
Nice to meet you.
officially nice to meet you. So can you share just like how you got into DJ?
Yeah,
we were talking
definitely.
a little bit before that, but
I've been partying in Alhambra since they opened, 2001 when they opened up.
yeah.
I tried to avoid going to Alhambra when I was younger because I had to run into a lot of people from El Sereno that I grew up with. And then when I was in a relationship, I knew to hide there because my ex understood that I didn't like Alhambra. So it was good to hide there because she would never find me there until the day she found me there. So then I stopped going. I stopped, and then back in 2008, 2009, I was playing softball with my cousins, and we started coming around to Fronteras, and just Thursdays, Fridays, hanging out. And one day, one of the DJs asked me to have my birthday party there, and we did it. We did really well. And then the following day was my buddy Anthony, who I still work with now. It was his birthday party in Azul, and went across the street for his party. We met that day officially, even though I knew him from being out there. And we started talking, and we started working together. We did Super Bowl the following year, and then it just kind of snowballed into, I was there Thursdays and Fridays, and then I was still teaching preschool at the time, so I would
That's
promote
interesting.
Thursdays. I
Yeah.
would promote Thursdays, get home about 3 a.m., go teach a class at 7, and then get home, sleep, and then go back on Saturdays because I was still running the youth sports for them.
Okay.
And then just slowly just started getting into it, started learning how to DJ, taught myself how to DJ, learned from the guys that I was working with. There was a lot of talented guys in the street at that time. So I was able to kind of pick up tips from everybody, and we made it work. And then next thing you know, here 15 years later, I'm still doing it.
Yeah. So that's awesome. The longevity. When you first started getting into DJing, that's actually something that I'm interested in doing. I really like music.
Yeah.
And I felt like I would be good at DJing. And when you first got into it, what sort of like program did you start using first?
So when I started, I was super beginner. So I started using Virtual DJ because it was a lot more simple to use than the Serato that I'm on now. So it was basically me on my computer, and I plugged the headphone jack in because I couldn't use the turntables because I had no idea what I was doing. And I learned that way, and then once I got comfortable with the turntables and with the actual setup, I switched over to Serato, which I think all of us use it now. And that, if you ask me now to go back on Virtual DJ, I probably wouldn't know how to do it because the Serato is so much. It's built to help you to help you learn to help you DJ, and the functions on it are super simple. But it was just kind of getting over the fear of actually using the turntables.
I see.
Yeah.
So first it was Virtual DJ, then moved over to Serato.
Uh-huh.
Is Serato a software? I see the name brand on the tables, on the
Yes.
turntables.
So Serato is a software, and then a lot of the manufacturers of the turntables and the controllers integrate the software into their hardware pretty much.
Okay.
So they work together.
I see.
Serato gets their name out there. Pioneer gets their name out there.
I see. Okay. Interesting. Oh, okay. So when you're like creating your playlist, what sort of like music do you like to play? Does it matter on like where you're playing?
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely. Personally, if I had my preference, I'd play house music because that's kind of what I learned on, and then that's the music that I like to listen to. But I try not to have a set playlist because you never know who's there. You never know who you're playing for. So I kind of have what I start with, and then you branch off. And like the different bars that I work at, it's a different clientele. So if it's an older crowd, I go that way. If it's a younger crowd, I go that way. You have to be able to adapt on the fly because if not, you get stuck playing the same thing over and over, and I don't think anybody wants to hear that. So.
Yeah, that makes sense. I can remember going out and, you're just like gonna hear like the top 40 songs, top 40 songs, and I'm just like, okay, I'm just out there, really just trying to talk to girls and have some drinks and have fun with my friends. What is it that you like about DJing? Like what the longevity? Like what do you enjoy about it?
I like seeing people have fun, 100%. Like I'm in it just to make people have a good time. If I see people dancing, if I see people like just groove into what I'm doing, then that kind of gets me going and gets me more excited to when I'm playing. There's days where you play and it's like 5 people, and at that point you're like, let me see if I can get these 5 people to go. And then there's days where you walk in, the place is packed. Those are the easy days because they're already ready to party, so you're just there to kind of add the background to it. But it's just basically them having a good time and making the party go, and that to me that's why I do it. You know, I love music, and I like having a good time, so I put them together.
That's awesome. Because I still go out these days, and not so much Main Street anymore. If I'm going to like 28 West or something, then it's usually for like a UFC fight. And then once the music starts coming on, I head out. I really don't have sort of that interest at this point in my life. But I notice whenever I do go out, the people when I used to go out were my age, when I was like 21, 22, 23. And now the people that I'm going out are like 33, 34, 35, and like older folks. Yeah. Do you see that in your
100%? The younger, this younger group that's coming out, I realized that when I was managing Azul, they just don't want to come out anymore. They want to drink at home and then come out at 1 o'clock and then have a couple drinks and dance and then go home. Like it's cheaper for them.
Oh, I see.
When I took over at Azul, my thought process was I'd love to have the 21-year-olds here, but I'd much rather have the 25 to 40s because they have money and they're going to come spend money and they're going to come out. So we kind of had to adjust the music and the service to an older demographic because I figured those are the ones that had money. But now, ever since COVID, like once COVID finished, everybody had a bunch of extra money from the unemployment or whatever, so everybody was coming out. They were out at 8 o'clock, 8:30. They were partying all night. Now it's getting back to what it was before, 11:30, midnight. But it's an older group of people. And it's not just when I DJ at Havana House or, I'm at the office in Lincoln Heights or Cities in East LA. It's the same thing. It's an older group of people. You'll have the younger ones there, but they either get there really late or they're hammered by 11 o'clock, 11:30.
So you think the main reason is they are maybe don't have as much money to spend, and so they'll drink first and then they'll come out like around 1?
Yeah, I think it's a combination of a lot of things. I just think like the generation that I see coming out is very like, I don't want to be around people. Like, there's too many people for me, and you can blame it on a lot of different things. I'm sure COVID had a lot to do with it. So if they walk into a really packed bar, they're like, this is not me. I'm out. I go to places that are really busy with a younger crowd, but everybody's like in their corner over there, in their corner over there. It's not what it was when we were going out, where it was like, let's just cram into a bar and not be able to walk around.
Right. Yeah, that's an interesting thing to me when I was seeing that whenever I'd go out or whenever I do go out. It's just like there's older folks around my age going out, and I don't see too many young people out. I went out to downtown LA to a club called what is it called? It was like close to the Mayan. You know where that is?
I know where the Mayan is,
yeah. Yeah, I forget what that club is called. It's either the Mayan or something close to it, but my cousin was like, oh, let's go see this DJ. And it was like a house DJ, but it was an 18 and over event. So then there I saw those kids, like 18 years old. And I'm just like, bro, I was at like 27 or 29 at the time. I'm just like, whoa, the difference between even somebody who's 21 and somebody who's 18 is pretty drastically different in terms of maturity. But between like 18 and 25, that's it's a different mindset,
Definitely.
So I'm just like, dude, I can't really fuck with 18 and over clubs. Like, I mean,
it's a different monster. Like they,
yeah. Do you enjoy going out to like see shows? You said you love music.
Yeah, I like live shows 100%. I'll go to concerts as much as I can. If there's bands that are coming out or groups that I want to see, I'll make it a point to go check them out. I've been involved in music since I was a kid. My father's a musician.
Really?
Him and his brothers had a band together growing up.
Oh,
so
sweet.
I was along for the ride. I was carrying their speakers and their instruments since I'm 4 years old. They attempted to teach me instruments my whole life until high school when I finally picked it up. So there's a love for music there. And I think that also had to do with why I started DJing because, I saw my whole family, the majority of my family get involved in music. and this was my way to kind of like get involved in it, my outlet for music. So
Yeah,
it's really cool.
Awesome. I don't know why those lights turned off. Random. I think it's probably connected to this. Let me try to turn these back on.
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
Are they motion?
Motion.
Oh yeah.
Probably. Cool. And then okay, so what sort of music like artists do you enjoy? You say like house music.
Actually, that's the one thing. Like I guess growing up in music, my taste is all over the place.
I see.
Like I went to Besa Mucho at Dodger Stadium and saw all those Spanish artists. I saw those Bukis and La Maná and all the different groups that were there. It was like Conjunto Primavera was there, and at the same time, I'm gonna go see Bad Bunny next month.
Yeah.
And I'll go to house shows, and I went to go see Bush in Palm Springs a couple of weeks ago.
Okay.
A couple months ago. So it's all over the place. I won't say that I have one specific genre that I listen to. It's just such a variety, and I think DJing probably that helps me because I'm not closed off to anything. If somebody asks me to play something, they're like, "Oh, I don't like it. I'm not going to play it."
Yeah.
There's not much I don't like. So.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Do you think having sort of like a broad scope in music, do you feel like you want to play other songs that maybe are not quote unquote like suitable for the night, or is it
100%? And there's times where you do it just to see what happens. Like you just throw it in there. Mm-hmm. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. I mean, you take chances when you're DJing because you never know what they're gonna like.
Yeah.
So you might throw a random song on there and be like, oh, I haven't heard that in forever, or what is this? And they're still vibing to it. They're cool. But then there's sometimes you try and be, a little too much and then clear the dance floor.
Oh, man. So how do you get the dance floor back if you kill it?
I think you try and keep them as much as possible, but they're going to go get a drink. They're going to go to the restroom. So if for some reason I'm playing something, I see that I lose them, you kind of have to, there's a set of songs that people are going to go dance to. So you try and steer yourself back into that direction and then veer off again just to get them to come back out.
Mm-hmm.
And
oh, yeah, that makes sense.
It usually works.
Okay. So you're like involved in the business aspect of the bar as well, too. When you first started DJing, how long did it take you to kind of develop that mindset of like, hey, I need to get into the business mindset?
So it's funny because I was at Fronteras with the owners of Fronteras own Havana House. They used to own Azul. So I was cool with them. I was promoting there. I had run bakeries before and I ran a gym before. I'd never managed a bar in my life. And they needed someone to manage, and they called me across the street one day. They're like, hey, what do you think about managing here? And I was like, I've never done it. And they're like, you'll figure it out. Here you go. Just handle the keys. I'm like, so it was kind of like trial by fire. Mm-hmm. So I went in, it worked. We did well. I stood at Havana House for a year before I left to find another job. But it was just, it wasn't the easiest, just getting used to the nightlife, the times. You're still going in early to get the bar ready and then staying there late because you have to manage. Mm-hmm. At the time, there was just two managers. It was me and somebody else.
So you just kind of trial by fire, just went in there.
And then I left. So when I came back, I was DJing at Fronteras again. I went back to DJ there. And then I started working at 28 West with Steel Rod, the band that we had there on Wednesdays. And that was going well. And then the owner hit me up again. He's like, hey, can you come help at Azul? And it was as a promoter. I didn't think anything of it. So I went to help at Azul. Didn't go over too well at 28. So I just left there and went over to Azul. And I promoted there for a few months. And then the manager was let go. And he told me, you either manage or there's no job for you here. So I said, okay, cool. So I started managing Azul, the nightclub. That was in 15.
I remember there was some kind of like light-skinned dude who would like dress in.
George. He's the manager I met when I started partying out there.
Okay.
Yeah, he was a really good dude. He was there for a long time. I think he left in 13.
Yeah, and then one day I didn't see him anymore.
Yeah, he just kind of vanished. He disappeared, like one day to the next.
What spots do you enjoy most at what does it really like depend on the vibe of the night? It could be anywhere. It depends on the vibe of the night that you like DJing the best.
I think first and foremost, I enjoy Havana House because that's where I started. Like that's home to me.
Okay.
So I'm there on Sundays and there on Mondays, but it's just there's a comfort there because I know the staff. You know, my friend's a manager. Like, it's comfortable there, but it's home. You know, there's not much I could do wrong there that's in a clear dance floor because I've been playing there for so long that you kind of know the people. So for me, like, that's home. And then when I play at Cities on Saturdays, it's a similar crowd. It's a lot of people that used to go to Havana House and now they're there. So it kind of gives me the same feeling.
Okay.
You know, but I mean, every place that I work at has something to it. Like, I work on Friday nights. It's a really small bar in Lincoln Heights. It's called The Office. It's like maybe the size of the room over there. It's tiny. But you get it going. It's a good vibe. It's fun. The people are fun.
Yeah.
You make connections with the people there, and that's what makes it worth going back. Like, if you're there and you don't like the crowd, because I've played at some places where the crowd is garbage.
Yeah.
Like, garbage. and it's not so much that's what we're attracting. It's that's what they were letting in. Like, it was, you know, there's fights or there's dudes with knives in the restroom.
Oh, I see.
There's guys getting beat up in the parking lot. Mm-hmm. So it's not as fun. The people are cool. Like, the staff was cool. But you just never know when something's going to happen. So you kind of just, all right, maybe let's not be here so much.
Yeah, so that's what you considered as a garbage crowd.
100%.
Just fucking
100%.
people throwing down
Yeah.
and fucking the night up.
Yeah, 100%. Because people can have a great time. And it takes one idiot to go in there in a bad mood and start bumping people. And then all hell breaks loose. You know, and I've seen, like, all-out brawls sometimes that start for no reason. Just, they shouldn't be there in the first place.
Yeah.
But they're there, and because they're welcome, there's like a sense of entitlement. And maybe they don't like the fact there's a new crowd coming in. Maybe they don't like the fact that, you know, they're not playing the music they want. Mm-hmm. So they'll go out of their way to screw shit up. And it sucks because some of these businesses have a lot of potential, and they're run right into the ground because they're just run wrong, and it's horrible because I don't have ill will towards anybody. I want all the businesses to do well, but you can only kick yourself in the ass so many times before it's not anybody else's fault but your own.
I see. Yeah. Just thinking about, like, bad crowds. I was in Hollywood at a event, like a house music event. Fisher and Chris Lake were playing, and they shut down
on the street. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Hollywood Boulevard a little bit. And for the most part, it was cool. Like, you know, they're checking everybody at the door and, like, metal detectors and stuff like that. But still, people can, you know, fight with their fists, you know. And everything was going good, and then, you know, it just takes somebody to, like, would you say, like, bump?
Yeah.
Like, I come through and like felt like a bump, and then these guys are just like passing on through in a crowded ass space, like, if I can make way for me, I'm the shit, like, you know. And it's weird, like, why these folks have that sort of mentality. And these are good looking dudes, and they're yoked, and I guess they just felt like this shit. Maybe they're on ecstasy or something, and they're feeling themselves, and they're just coming through. But I'm like, bro, like, chill the fuck out. But it's interesting going out in the nightlife. Yeah, I've seen full-out brawls. I've seen, because I used to, when I was in high school, I used to go to flyer parties.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and so I used to go to flyer parties. A lot were in Pico Rivera.
Okay.
And so it got, I mean, pretty intense over there. And, you know, see people like get guns pulled out on them and things like that. In your years of partying, like, what are some like not forget those stories, like the bad stories, but like like good stories that funny things that.
Oh, I mean, there's funny stuff all like. I like to people watch just as for fun anywhere. So when you do that at the bar, you know, you're sitting there, you get your table, and you just watch the people, and you see anything you could think of, like people falling down, people making asses of themselves the way they dance. You see guys, like, you can see guys that want to go talk to girls, and they sit there and they look. And the poor guy finally goes, and goes like, nope.
That's beautiful.
I mean, it sucks, but
the struggle is real.
To watch.
Yeah.
But alcohol makes people do some funny shit. And, you know, there's days where, you know, we had a guy one time, I forgot where I was at. This guy was talking, they were buying him drinks, they were cool. And then one of the guys took it wrong and tried to kiss the guy, and then
whoa,
boom, fight. We had to throw the guy out. Like, it was
whoa.
But they were cool. They were joking around. They're hugging. They're high fiving. Boom, boom. And then the guy went in for a kiss, and then like, oh, wait, maybe that's not what we're doing today.
That's a great
out
story.
The door, dude.
So you threw the guy that tried to fight the guy.
Yeah. Well, the guy who tried to kiss him, the other guy pushed him, so the guy who tried to kiss him swung. So then we had to kick him out or whatever. And it was like I said, it was.
Not bad, I don't know.
It was interesting to say the least.
That's funny. People watching, just thinking about a guy trying to go talk to a girl and getting denied. I mean, that's happened to me like plenty of times.
100%.
Yeah.
It's funnier when it happens to somebody else.
Yes. Yes. True that. But whenever I see that, I'm like, all right, good for you, bro. Because at least you had, at least you made the attempt. There's been plenty of times where I've just like couldn't even like go up to the girl and talk. And it's an interesting thing because like, just talking about like rejection. Yeah. You don't want to get like rejected and then have everybody. And then everybody's like, oh yeah, that guy got rejected. That's the word. Yeah. Okay, cool, man. We'll do maybe a couple more minutes and then just wrap it up. So I guess, what are some things that is a struggle, like being a DJ? What are some things that you don't like about it?
A lot of the times, like, just the process of like building something up can be difficult sometimes because you never know if it's going to work. Like during COVID, for example, we were going to 28 West and they were opening the back and it was like a small little patio that they had. And when I talked to the owners about expanding, they were like, well, if you can do it, go ahead, like help us out. And me and my friends ended up, that patio blew up. I don't know if you ever went to 28.
I did.
So that
it was a good time.
Yeah. So that was, we built off a Tuesday night that we were there thinking, just running through thoughts, and it exploded. We had like 300 people during COVID at that time, and we were the only place open. I remember our Cinco de Mayo and our St. Patrick's Day was ridiculous. There were so many people out there. And it was a lot of work, not just for us, but like the staff, having to set up tables, set up the bar, set up this. But it was a collective effort. But, you talk to people, like the city council would have their meetings there, and then the Chamber of Commerce was there, and they were always like, you guys helped save Alhambra during COVID because there was nothing out here. There was nowhere open. And it was, like I said, we worked together, but the hard work was, first of all, thinking, okay, what can we do? And taking a chance during COVID when you're not supposed to be out, that, okay, maybe people are going to come out, maybe this will work. But it's the same anywhere. Like if you get a new night, when I left 28, and I went to work at the office, their Friday nights had like 5 people. Our first night, I played for 5 people, and I'm like, this is going to suck. But we put work into it. We got busy. Same at cities. They were coming off COVID where they lost their crowd. They lost everything. They had been outside. And it was just, okay, let's try it. Let's put a flyer out there. Let's talk to our friends. Let's get people on board. And we've been at both locations for over 2 years now. Like, we've built it up to that. When I took over Azul in 15, it was a similar situation. Not as a DJ, but as a manager, where the crowd was gone. From where Azul was, it was at the peak when it was ridiculous to get in there. It got to a point where it was like there was nothing there. It was bad. So we kind of had to reboot, and you throw stuff out there and hope it sticks. As you gain experience, you understand, okay, this might work, this might not work. This will get people in the door. This is going to scare people away. So it's hit or miss, but when it hits, it's fun. Like, when you build a night and you see it successful, it boosts your pride for one, but it's like, okay, good, I know what I'm doing, kind of. It's working. Yeah. And I think every manager, DJ, promoter feels the same way. If your bar's empty, the first thing I think is, what am I doing wrong? What's not working here? Even if it's one day that it's empty, something happened today that it didn't work. Yeah. You're going to have slow days regardless. Everybody does. But you want to try and minimize that as much as possible. So what didn't work today? Was the music not good? Was the service not good? Did I do something wrong? And you can't get comfortable, because the minute you get comfortable, that's when everything goes to shit, and then you're starting over again.
I see. And then when you say like when it's not a successful night, like what does that mean? Because what if say those 5 people when you first started at what was it, Cities, the office, those 5 people, we're having a good time and spending money. Would you consider that like a successful night, or like what do you consider a bad night?
Like that night was our first night there, and they had a good time and they came back. So being that they came back, we did something right. So you kind of build off that. You can't really do much when it's your first night, second night there, because you're just got to get a feel for the place. So if you have some people there and they have a good time, then cool. Those 5 people are gonna go. Hopefully, tell other people and they're gonna come. So that's why, like, when I work with the guys that I work with, I try and DJ first, just to kind of get a feel for the crowd. But then when I'm done, I get to go walk around and talk to people or have a drink with somebody and kind of like, oh, come back on this night or come check us out over here. Like, you're always trying to promote yourself so that all your places do well. So that's a lot of people are like, oh, you want to DJ first, so you just sit down the rest of the night. 100%. But at the same time, I'm trying to work the crowd and trying to talk to people and trying to figure out what they want to hear, like what they like. Just like I said, people watching, you see what people are vibing to. And if you're trying to build something up, you need to pay attention to things like that, because who knows who they are or who they know, or maybe they have a birthday party coming up. Maybe, they're graduating. Maybe they have a big party to bring. But you befriend them and hey, you like this? Okay, yeah, we're here. And then they remember stuff like that, and then they come back, and then they bring their friends, and their friends tell their friends. And the next thing you know, you're ready to go.
I see. Cool. Well, we could close on that. That was great, Manny. Thank you for your time,
my pleasure,
man.
My pleasure.
I appreciate it.
All right. Cool, man.